So obviously heads-up play all about making adjustments.
Really?
And after showing that bluff,
I mean,
is Tom going to adjust to Sammy starting now?
I mean, obviously...
I would think so, though at the same time, that goes back and forth. Sammy knows he showed Tom that hand and knows Tom is going to be making those sorts of adjustments. So
have you tried that sake there with the...
bit of a mind game in that way.
The what's it called? Let me see if I got pieces on. Nope.
Check.
The sake with the cold one, bring it in the bamboo.
I kind of feel
really
like
cold.
you just gave that pie away.
Do you know how many of them I've drank? Oh my days. They're really tasty.
About
They're
the
really
sake
sweet.
at
I really like
Nobu.
them.
gotta get the black cup with miso.
Yes.
Gotta get them in the lettuce wraps.
Yes.
Gotta get the yellowtail jalapeno.
Yeah, of course.
Rock shrimp.
Yeah.
The Kobe new style.
Yeah. Okay. So far, you're on what I want.
Lobster tacos.
Done. Yep.
The great thing about this Le Ambassador Casino is it is just across the street from one of the Nobus in London. So these guys are already busy planning out their dinner break. And this could be big action, couldn't it?
Yeah, they've both got big hands. Could easily see it going 4 bets free flop.
Why not the 4-bet, or why should Tom have 4-bet?
I don't think he's making a mistake to just call there, but it certainly is a strong enough hand that he could consider it. Though actually, come to think of it, Sammy has not been 3-betting quite as aggressively as Tom has, and maybe calling is the more prudent play.
Tom is not going to be crazy about playing a 200 big blind race.
Yeah.
With 2 9s.
There's a lot of potential for it to be worse than a race as well.
And very careful check on the flop from Tom. Obviously, it looks like Sammy has an ace. Tom believes. Back in the box with Isaac Haxton here at the Durrrr $1 Million Challenge. And Sammy's feeling pretty good right now, isn't he?
He sure seems to be. He's been getting the best of Tom. He's made a lot of good decisions in big pots. That 8-5 bluff was looked like a weird play when he made it, but it was not what Tom expected, and it worked out.
Something like that.
Tom 3-betting as per usual or often. And continuation bet here?
I don't know. Well, he seems to have checked, and he's done with it. It's the sort of board that never really misses the other player entirely, because at minimum he has overcards, and with Sammy calling with his smaller suited hands pretty regularly, he's going to flop pairs on that board a lot as well.
Well, we can look at the stats so far. Obviously, Sammy with the big lead. What else do you see?
The aggression's a little higher on Durrrr's side. Sammy's been getting to the river as with Tom as the aggressor, and then making good decisions once he gets there. It's not necessarily bad to be the less aggressive player.
And then I think.
And if you were just to look at those stats we saw,
someone else who won that, and then the
what would you say to Tom as far as the adjustments he should be making?
Yeah.
You know, I think in general the 3-bet pots are going well for him, so 3-betting and playing aggressively, I think he should stick with that. But
what is it for the first round that you get?
Maybe play a little bit more cautiously.
I think it's he gets $20,000. You get like 20,000. You got 20, 40, and then you get up to like if you want to keep playing the pros. You know what I mean?
It seems like when the pots get past the turn and river, Sammy's nearly always got the best hand. Is that?
Yeah, it does seem that way.
No, I think it's 4. 2 million is 4.
Does that maybe mean he's just getting better cards? I wonder.
Because I saw the guy. He like
certainly a factor. I mean, they've only played what 50 hands or so far. So.
I remember.
Should river straight.
Sammy's bet this on the turn, checked it on the river. He probably feels like he's got some showdown value here.
Yeah, I would think so. On that sort of board, King High's not the weakest hand in the world. And he even has a pretty good King High.
I shouldn't have let you go for the toilet break.
Now this is a spot for Tom. A lot of guys would check there. He's made the value bet.
It's 4 people.
Okay.
It's 4 people. Is what it is.
I was actually worried that you might have river straight. It was real.
Why, did you have two pairs?
Concern. And nines.
$166,000. I mean, Durrrr may even start thinking about reloading. So I think that's
yeah, I
a big.
wonder.
Up to 11,000.
Fast little call there.
Yeah, as I saw you put in,
The
I went to reach
strategy
for it
he's
again.
playing of
I didn't want to
re-raising
go
a lot
back.
out of position does play better with shorter stacks. So maybe he's actually happy to see the stacks get a little shorter.
Okay.
And lately, last 20 or so hands, we've seen a preponderance of Durrrr 3-betting and then checking the flop.
Yeah.
I feel like you may have bet a lot of turns. Do you want to be betting this turn, and why or why not?
I think it's a close decision. I think he is going to get called by ace-high hands some here, so betting for value makes some sense. Additionally, if he checks and lets Sammy check back, every card in the deck's a little tough for him on the river.
I'm so excited for Nobu. It's going to be
You
amazing.
know what? Because I've been coming here all the
I
time.
wish I could be sponsored by Nobu.
Oh, because I've been coming here all the time. Yeah, I've been eating, you know, you've been eating the food here, whatever. Like, I've done everything on the menu.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The food here is pretty good, actually.
It's
Surprisingly.
fantastic.
It's
Listen,
really
the
good.
food is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's like, had it every day. Every day for like 2 weeks. It's mad. I could reel you off the whole menu.
And it is just like poker players. They're playing for $1 million, and yet,
And I like this casino a lot.
really, what they're going to eat for their next meal is at the forefront of their minds.
I was surprised,
Yeah.
actually, with the quality of a lot of the
Raise up
London
to
casinos
3,000
that
total.
I've been involved in. Pretty
Oh,
good.
we've got another 7-deuce pot developing here.
Up to 14,000 total.
Nice.
And
Sorry,
it's
19,000 total.
a big re-raise.
That is a very big re-raise, yeah. I wonder what Tom's going to decide to do with the 8s here. It wouldn't be totally unreasonable to just straight up fold them.
Yeah, what is Sammy's range here now? It's very big hands and the 7-deuce.
Yeah, you would think so. Which isn't an altogether bad plan. Have a sort of separate 3-betting game with the 7-deuce and several very strong hands.
Basically impossible for Tom to call this bet.
I would think so. I would think Sammy has a lot of ace-kings and ace-queens and big pairs in his range before the flop. Even if he's specifically the 7-deuce, that hand has turned into a 5-outer against Tom.
What does the bet
So-
size say to you? He's bet just over the pot.
Well, it's continuing with the plan he sort of laid out for himself before the flop of making big bets and forcing Tom to guess, do I have 7-2 or do I have a monster?
And the call rather than the raise and fold. Or fold.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sets up a spot on the turn now where Tom has, if the stacks haven't changed since we last looked at him too much, Tom has just about a pot-sized bet to play here.
The question is, can Sammy pull the trigger? He hasn't.
Though he hasn't given up on the hand yet either, because if he had a set here, he might check that as well. If he has kings or queens or something like that, he can still try again on the river when Tom checks back. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Sammy jam it here.
Is it the right play overall?
It's hard to say. It very well could be. Tom seems quite likely to have a hand very much like the one he does based on how he's played this. Maybe a little stronger. Maybe he has something like Queen 10 a bit more often than he has 8s. But I would expect him to bet the turn with a very strong hand.
And Tom is wondering if...
I probably should bluff.
Yeah, that...
Huh?
Have a pair.
You must win then. Yeah.
Okay.
Tom thinking that he may have had to bet there to get Sammy off a queen, a jack, 2-10, something like that.
Yeah, I think Tom is thinking
Diamonds.
that Sammy might have a hand like Ace-Jack, Jack-10 there.
I was going to bet on the river. You can't call, I don't think.
For some reason, I really thought you might have had 3-7. I still probably fold, but I don't know.
Yeah, Sammy's second-guessing himself when he sees Tom's hand there, which, isn't totally called for. Tom's never going to have a much worse hand than that, really.
23,000 total.
Both players feeling like they played it a little weak, but Tom got the money, yeah.
It's a tricky spot. Starting right away from Sammy's big overbet pre-flop, the pot was sort of destined to get tricky.
5,000.
And this is something that Dwan doing a little more than Sammy, sort of leading into the raise, the dunk, right?
Yeah, the donk bet, leading out of position when the other guy has had the lead on the previous street.
Sammy's hit his worst possible card on the river.
4,000.
Yep.
Cool.
Say call. Yeah, 2 pair.
Can't blame Sammy for that at all. He's going to see some bluffs. He's going to see some value bets of weaker hands. If Tom has queen 10, queen 9, something like that, quite likely plays it exactly the same.
Starting to go the other way just a little bit. Durrrr, not far from even.
Yeah, that 7 deuce versus 8 spot was really big.
Because in this match so far, it does look like Tom, it feels like Tom's controlling the pace, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
splash
so
the
sick
pot.
that 8-5 hand. He just decided to bluff the river, and I just happened to have a better hand, which was the 7 deuce.
Well, to be honest with you, I thought I was good there as well with the 2. When you weren't calling, I thought maybe you had like ace high. Yeah?
I'm pretty sure I was bluffing that river, but I actually was thinking of checking it, the queen 10, 9, 7. But if we chop, I don't get the money, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and I thought it was really likely you had a 7. You know, like if I had 7-8, I would have checked the river, definitely.
Yeah.
Because you have a 7 so much. But with 7 deuce, I was like, oh man, there's that extra 10,000 to win.
Oh, it's crazy. That game has lost people a lot of money, and it's made them a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
That 7 deuce.
Sweet game.
And it has so
It's
far
a lovely
tonight,
game.
hasn't
Lovely
it?
game.
It certainly has. It's really been the driving force behind a couple of the biggest and most interesting pots they've played.
Oh. I thought I was picking up, what you call it?
Call.
I thought I was picking up another
I'm not
check.
going to fold.
Top pair versus bottom pair. And Durrrr with the check call.
Don't go into zone mode. Like we're talking, and you go into zone mode. It's ridiculous.
That's when the pot gets to a certain size.
Check.
All right, I'll try not to, just for this match, though.
You go into zone mode. It's ridiculous. Like, oh my god.
Check.
And that's check with the intention.
10,000.
Making a tough decision faced with a bet.
Right.
It's an overcard that's more likely to hit Sammy than it is Durrrr, so that also makes it a good card for him to bluff. He could play, you know, queen 7 or something like that, like this. He could play king 10 like this also.
No, just throw the cards in the muck. It's okay. There you go. Good news.
He did make a conspicuously
'Cause the
small
2
bet
was still
there.
good
I
there
believe
either
it
way.
was something like 10 into 26. So Sammy's really been mixing it up with his bet sizing. We've seen him underbet, we've seen him overbet.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm just used
And-
to... Because most people, when they're talking in the middle of a hand, are trying to pick something up on you. So that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, usually when people are like being... You're actually not, so...